Members, can I welcome you to this July meeting of Colne Town Council? I've got apologies from Councillor Bell and Councillor Robinson, who were at the Little Theatre AGM, and they're trustees, so they've gone there. And I've got apologies from Councillor Howarth, who's on holiday for 2 weeks. Any other apologies? No? Thank you. Well, before we really start, I'm going to move an emergency item, understanding order number 10A, which allows for us to exclude the press and public from a meeting in respect of confidential or sensitive information which is prejudicial to the public interest. And item 14 will be taken in camera as the examination for the local plan is still taking place and the information is considered to be private at this time. Okay. Has anyone got any declarations of interest? No?
The item on Colne in Bloom. I am chair of that organisation.
Right. Yes, Councillor. Thank you. Minutes. You've got the minutes there. Are there any issues with the minutes? No. Can I have a proposal then for the minutes? Thank you. Councillor Butterworth. Thank you. All those in favour? Right. Item 5 is clerk's update, and I'll hand over to Gina for her update.
Okay, there's not too much actually to update you on this time. We're still drafting a letter to be sent to a link to try for a banking hub, but giving obviously different reasons and asking them for a site visit so they can see for themselves the unique problems that we have in Colne. But on that note, I can confirm that Santander still want to have a presence in the town, even though the branch is shut. So they will be at the town hall every Wednesday from 9 till 5 for any advice, any help with online applications or online banking. So there will be someone available every Wednesday for an initial period of 12 months. So obviously we can see how that goes. If it's popular and it shows that it's well used, then obviously that's more ammunition for us to get a banking hub. So
yeah, well, that's really, really wonderful news, isn't it, for Colne? Councillor?
I think, you know, if we can share that information, then I think we should make a lot of it on social media.
Yes, I did say that we would promote it on social media. I'm just waiting for the final say so. Yes.
Yet to hear something, backing up, whether to say work with the bid for the people with 340 town sector businesses, it's like, you know, cooperative, so they can presumably help. Business side of things.
Okay, yeah.
I also think, Sarah, we're also asking about, because we do a lot of events and there's lots of people come from outside for the blues or the cycling, and they will only know the two that are in the town centre. And with all the markets that we have, cash is king, and those will soon run out of money. And so we're asking for more link machines as well. Well, I am anyway.
Just to give you an update on the audit process, just to let you know that everything that needs to be published is now on the website and in the notice boards, and that all the information went off to the external auditor by the deadline. And I did get a response to say they've received it. So now we're just waiting for them to come back to us if they need any more information or anything like that. So.
Is that the end of your update?
I was going to say the loan consultation, we're still working on the documents for that, but that should be coming out quite soon. Also, we are still waiting for quotes the walled garden on options. Unfortunately, Growth Lancashire wouldn't assist. And I'd also approached someone else and they kind of turned me down as well. So we were struggling for people to help. But we did find a company that they came to look, and obviously we said we just want different options of what we can do, and obviously ideas of how much each project would cost and sort of what kind of time frame that they would take. So I believe he was on holiday last week, and he did say he was going to forward them next week, so we should have them by then. No. Yeah, I think that's it for my
Okay.
update.
Item 6 is public forum. We don't have any public here. So item 7 is report from the borough and county councils. So we've had a paper. Do members need a few minutes to read the report, or have people already read them? I think they were sent by email a day or two. There's 8. Let's have a look.
I don't actually think they were included in the
No.
working papers
No.
because they actually came after
Well,
those.
there's
But I did
18 points on here.
I did give everyone a copy before the meeting.
And yeah, and so the first one is about the police. Have you all got a copy there? Everybody?
Everyone should have a copy.
Yeah. And it's about that we had good news and bad news. You can see there that Keely Evans is leaving, which she's been really good as a PCSO. So we're back to a shared sergeant. The new chief executive is Dean Langton. I mean, if you can read, do you want a few minutes to read it? And then you can ask any questions, or are you going to leave those to the end of the meeting? What do you think? Yes, Anthony.
I was actually quite disappointed, obviously. Well, glad and disappointed, obviously. With it's good that we're paving the front of the market, obviously, with the Yorkstone, but getting it not open, touch and go before Christmas is slightly disappointing because when we all went to have the visit there, they said we were quoting October, weren't we? Now they're pushing that estimate back. Have they given any reason why?
I don't know the reason why.
We were told that obviously the fit out and the extra things that are needed doing. I mean, realistically, if you're a market trader, you want to be in well before Christmas so that you don't spoil your Christmas season. So I wonder, in fact, whether, if they suddenly say mid-November, come now, it might be too late. And they'd just say, well, we'll go in January. I don't think we really know.
I think Anthony as well, the people who are going to take it over, they're going to do the fitting out. And until that's all signed and sealed and delivered, that'll take it back until it's signed and they start doing the fit out. That's why it's going to take longer, I think. And as well, the Christmas trade, you don't want to be going in after October, really.
I don't know what the item is now. Bollards.
Oh yeah, bollards.
In Clitheroe, they've got new bollards, which don't look like ours in that they don't look cast iron. They sound plasticky, but they are very sturdy. So I don't think if the ones that they're talking about being plastic are the same as they've got in Clitheroe, which they've just had their main street done up, it won't be too bad.
I spoke to the a member on Ribble Valley Council, and he said that Lancashire County Council wouldn't pay for them all, so they went off each, and then another area of Clitheroe they've had to pay for them. The Clitheroe Town Council paid for an area, and Lancashire County Council and the borough, Ribble Valley Borough, halved the other lot. But they were. I was quite surprised that I'm waiting for someone to come back to me, because I've asked them to go and find out exactly what they are, if they are iron or not, because some were cast iron. So I'm just waiting for them to talk to the person who put them all in and ordered it all. Yes, Sarah.
I wonder whether there was the wholesale replacement. I don't know. The wholesale replacement in Clitheroe, simply because they sort of let them go. And if you let them go, there's a point, isn't there, where they've gone, and in which case then all replaced. Whereas, call me sort of 112 make-doing men living in the Second World War, but wouldn't it just be better to keep up the old things so that they continue to be serviceable from a green perspective, rather than rip them all out and replace with plastic? If there's no need to do that, why do it?
They still have some cast iron ones. They still have some round where the is it the art gallery near the station, that area. But because it was all new, and I was thinking, if we want to continue down the town where we haven't got cast iron,
We have down there. It's cast iron.
not all. Have we got all the way down?
Yeah, in the conservation area. Yeah,
Right,
and we've now got the funding to have them painted.
right.
So, at Cone area, we asked that we write back to say, actually, we like them in Cone. They are correct for the conservation area. I don't think there's much we can do about Hartley Square or anything like that. If they want to get rid of them there, I don't think there's anything we can say. We haven't got a leg to stand on. But I think if we're going to look after, and we are looking after them, there's no actual sense to remove them, is there?
No. Neil.
The council, the gas, the electric, the Nanex, Bob Smith and his sister are renowned for destroying our town and not putting it back to where it were. If you look through that town, you see where they budged everything. So if you start taking these bollards out, I can guarantee you there will be absolute rubbish put in and surrounded by tarmac rather than. We know, we all understand this, that if you take something out up corner, wherever you are, it's going to be a bad workmanship, bad job. There's one bollard nearly on its side, opposite Tesco's. I already noticed that tonight. There's one length over there. Not who's it that. But yeah, I wouldn't take them out.
I wasn't talking about taking them out. And if we wanted to have more than we've got,
Yeah,
They were saying they'd take some out and they'd replace them with plastic. It's both.
Yeah.
all right. Well, we don't want them replaced. If the ones we've got, we need to keep. But I was wondering.
I mean, I agree with Sarah that to refurbish them is nothing,
Yeah.
and they're fit for purpose. So.
Patricia.
I agree with Councillor Butterworth. One of my first points when I joined the committee was the York Stone outside, outside St Bart's Church and up there. We're still waiting for that to be replaced. Properly? No, it hasn't. No, it has not been done properly. So, like you say, Councillor Butterworth, if we start messing around with these bollards, we're not going to get them back, and we're going to get cheap plastic. It may look good, but as you say, Councillor Corbyn-Price, we are in a conservation area. We need to keep our conservation because we are proud of it. Let's keep it.
Yeah, these bollards, particularly these outside, when EAG were painting them, probably about 15 years ago, were rotting away. What is the state of them now? I mean, they were never, they just painted round the holes and,
Right.
you know,
I mean, I don't pretend to be a bollard expert. Gina assures me, and I would agree on a cursory inspection, that the very worst ones are outside this town hall.
They are.
Some of them are very good. Some of them are. I don't think any of them are completely rotten. And even if they were completely rotten in the conservation area, I think we should push for cast iron, because that would be best practice according to Historic England. Cone Area Committee wrote a letter, or is writing a letter, to the County Council to sort of state our views, really, to say you're very lucky that we've taken this on, the costs of it. Perhaps it's a thing that Cone Town Council should write an affirmatory letter along those lines.
to know how bad they were. Are they beyond repair? How many are there?
Well, the bollard painting chap didn't think they were beyond repair. He painted how many? Oh, it's like 100, wasn't it? No, it was a lot. We've got a couple of hundred in the town centre.
Anything else on the item 7?
Can I ask about item 12, which is the arts project, you know, the spheres in Harley Square?
Well, I'm at one step removed from this, but I've been told that there's been a meeting at Pendle that Ash went to, where they'd taken all the work that we'd done at Cone Area Committee to reimagine, you know, various artsy things, including the spheres, and bringing in Nur and Spell and different things, and possibly setting the stained glass lit, you know, in Richmond Court, all of that. They took that to Pendle Council, and Pendle Council seemingly, so this is hearsay, I wasn't there, but they seemingly said, oh, we could roll this into arts projects in Nelson and Briarfield, and we could do something else, and we could, and they could feel that the cone thing was not only being diluted, but focus was being taken away from it, attention was being taken away from it. It wasn't going to be about cone anymore, it was to be about a wider Pendle something, inclusivity, something. So I just feel that we at Cone Area should try to say, no, it's our project. We've done the research for it. We've paid the money for it. We'd like to apply for the grant for it. Let us do it for Cone and keep Briarfield out of it. They can do their own one.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
On 18, put the climate change strategy. I see that we've now lost the climate change officer, who's moving back to the Midlands. What does that leave? How does that leave us in Pendle with our climate change?
Yeah. I'm afraid you might be looking at her, looking a bit sad. My husband tells me I've got very little to do. It is really difficult to do it on your own, because you're doing all the outreach with the Trawden composters, and then you're also, I'm not downgrading the Trawden composters, the work they do is valuable. It's not going to save the world, is it? So we've got to have the bigger things, which are the signposting for, heating buildings like this, helping people in terraced houses to heat their Victorian houses, doing that to decrease our emissions, making sure that we've got EV chargers right across the borough, e-bike charging lockers, all of that kind of stuff. It's really, really vital. Sadly, we're now losing him at the end of this month, plus the government has announced an end to the public sector decarbonisation grant that he so successfully won for Pendle for 2 swimming pools. So in a more straightened time, we need one even more, but that's not to say that it's something that you can just replace overnight. They went 4 times to recruit him, 4 times out to market. In the end, they had to get an agency at expense to get him. These people are as rare as hen's teeth. And there's been a talk on the Pendle Council, Facebook page where they posted this job and people wrote it's jobs for the boys. We all know somebody's going to get it. This chap's got a PhD in climate science. There aren't many people who are so well qualified. We need somebody of that ilk to do these grants. It's going to be hard.
Thank you. Are we okay to move on to item 8? 8A is to receive a schedule of payments from the 11th of June to the 8th of July for approval. Any questions? I'm looking at David.
Other than things like the walled garden wall and things like that, no. We have had some playground damage. I'm afraid it all spins around antisocial behaviour, unfortunately. And allotments, some have been broken into. We haven't got any CCTV on the allotments, but because a lot of it has been at Waterside and we don't have cameras at Waterside. I mean, it may be something that we want to start to introduce. I mean, obviously we have got some at King George's, because we were getting a lot of antisocial behaviour there. Maybe we should roll it out to the other ones. It is, yeah. Unfortunately, you obviously we're looking at putting like new items in, but then you think, is it worth putting the new items in if they're just going to get damaged? But
Just ask if anybody else got any questions on the finances. No? Right, we've had a proposal for the both of them. Oh,
Key point of information, SEAG started its outreach at Alkincoats to try and cope with the antisocial behaviour and help cut costs. But Landpack still haven't come up with the money. So they've started it at risk, really, to SEAG. And we haven't bought this dedicated gazebo. So I had a frenzied message from Bradley to say, can I use the bandstand? And I took the executive decision to say yes, because we'd rather that the outreach happened. And if it's wet, pouring down, bandstand, I thought would be fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
okay, so
The point of information, that isn't the bandstand.
No, that's the
Bandstand
shelter.
is the open bit with the Parker doodah in the middle.
It's just a shelter, I think.
shelter. Yeah. Right. So David's proposed both the papers, paper A and 8A and 8B. Can I have a seconder? To Patricia. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 9 is small grants awards.
Yeah, so this is just for information only, just to let you know that at the last FES meeting, we did award £500 to Colne Citadel to put blinds down one side of the building, their counselling rooms, and I think it was the kitchen area.
Yeah, okay. Item 10 is Cornbridge Business Newsletter. I think you've all got a copy here.
As we hadn't had one of these in a while, I thought, and obviously we have got a new bid manager now, so I thought I would include this on the agenda for everyone's information.
And she did attend the events committee.
Yes, we have met several times.
Good.
So yeah.
So hope it's a good working relationship. Item 11 is Colne Junior Council. Is there any issues? Yes, Neil.
I brought this up at the area committee. the Gala are really reliant on Matthew Kibble. And without his vehicles, well, this would be a gala. We had 13 vehicles this year. I have retired from the gala, but I come back just to help them. And the Colne Junior Council booked a wagon and didn't tell anybody, and then didn't turn up. So that young man who was driving that wagon, he spent maybe 8 hours cleaning that vehicle. We didn't finish till 1 o'clock on the Saturday morning, and it was back there at 7 o'clock, cleaning the vehicle, polishing it all up, driving down there. They don't get paid, it's all volunteers, and they can't even be bothered to send a message saying we can't. We could have filled it 10 times over, but they didn't bother telling us. So, you know, if they ask again, I think it'll be, I don't think so.
I think Gina wants to do it.
Yeah, I will have to correct you there, Neil.
Correct me all you want.
They did say that they didn't want it. So
Correct.
then we were offering it to Colne Open Door, who I think I don't know if they got back in touch with Nathan, but they did say that they didn't want it. So it was cancelled by Nathan, and they have responded to that email, so they knew. So it's just miscommunication.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Matthew Kibble and that driver was not informed.
Well, somebody knew about it and didn't let them know.
Yeah,
So
well, then we should book up our communications then. Thank you.
Yes, Dorothy.
Or is it right that those wagons don't actually belong to Matthew Kibble anymore? This is what he tells me.
So,
He's sold them.
so through you, Chair. So Matthew Kibble, I'm not 1000% certain, but Matthew Kibble sold his business, but he was retained, I think, for 5 years. So he's retained. So that's why they kept the name. They haven't changed the name. They're going to keep the name, the same drivers. So, but he does get involved, and the transport manager, works with Matthew Kibble to provide vehicles for the gala. Without them vehicles, so we don't want any vehicle. I tried to fill it, but some of the other people that were walking, I thought I'll put some of them on the vehicle. And then the man who didn't know about anything was polishing his motor, didn't have to. So just a lack of communication. But next year, I think we can communicate better and that sort of thing.
I mean,
It is Matthew Kibble that. What's that?
Councillor Wildman.
If there's a lack of communication, I'd like to know whether it was the council that didn't communicate properly, or was it the feedback to Matthew Kibble from his own employee?
it was the feedback to Matthew Kibble from his own employee. But we did actually send an email saying that, you know, we were sorry for any inconvenience that it caused, but we'd had let them know.
I don't.
Yes, you did. Yes.
I don't want to carry it on because it's done and dusted now. However, the transport manager was there at 7:45 in the morning with me, and he didn't know, the transport manager. So I don't know where it's gone wrong. It's gone wrong, but I don't know where it's gone wrong. But if the transport manager doesn't know, we have a communication problem. Thank you. We'll end it there.
Councillor Clegg.
Yes, Chairman. I think it's quite clear that if we contacted them and gave them the information, and we got a receipt back saying they'd got the information, the lack of communication was nothing to do with this town council, and I've nothing more to say.
Thank you. Does anybody? He talks about the update from the last junior council meeting. Did that go? Did it happen or what?
It did happen.
What is it?
I mean, we haven't written about it as yet, just simply because, and in fact, we need to chase this really. They showed a film from that Nelson and Colne College had done that all the children had participated in little groups. So it was giving this message for Open Door. That was the driver of the film. But there were problems with the film. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what they were now, Gina. But there was
there was traffic noise.
The
that
traffic
they
noise,
wanted to
and then sort of
do.
one person was. Oh, there was music, wasn't there? there was music that really should have been at the end, but that was in the middle, or there were just little tweaks. So we made a list. The children made a list of what they'd like Nelson and Cone College to do to improve the film so that it would be ready to launch. And I agreed with Mr. Pears at Christchurch that I'd do the press release to send out with the finished film.
I said I'd put it on the website as well.
But there hasn't been any sign of the finished film. I have a feeling that Nelson and Cone College may have finished, don't know, possibly.
They may have done now. I'm not sure.
Which is not good. And then there were other things that I felt really sorry about that the children were really, they built up to. And the teachers said, well, that'll be September now. But if you're in year 6 and somebody said September now, that's not help. Only if you've grown up is that reasonable. So Gina and I were looking at each other like, oh.
Okay, thank you. The next item is Treasure Our Town. Who's going to speak on that? Anybody?
It's just information only. Everybody's had the note that I think Kaylee produced.
We could have done with one or two more people.
As it turned out, the area chosen wasn't
too
as
bad. No.
grotty, in inverted commas, as perhaps it has been in the past. The one thing I think that everybody did notice is the state of the back streets with the grass growing on them, and that isn't just that area that we were in. It appears to be all over, and I know people have been chasing people to try and get them to get the finger out. There's been problems behind it, I do know, but
yes, I know. I've been. Sarah.
Well, it's yin and it's yang, isn't it, really? Because on the climate emergency, they are appalled by the truly humongous amounts of glyphosate that Pendle Council uses on behalf of LCC. And I went to a webinar last week, just talking about the very real risks to us all from ingesting glyphosate, and we all ingest it. 100% of Americans have traces of glyphosate in their bodies. 50% of us have glyphosate in our bodies. It's not just the bees. It's not something that we can, just brush under the carpet and say we've got to get rid of the weeds. The weeds really are trivial compared with the planet. And Phil Riley is doing a proper trial at Fleet Street, where he is treating Fleet Street Depot only with acetic acid to see if that is as successful, because he's tried steam, and that was possibly even worse for the environment because he couldn't keep it hot enough and he kept having to go back and he ran out of water. He's tried different things. So he's trialing acetic acid now, but we can't just, honestly, and especially in suburban areas, I think it's do your own. I can understand it in town centres where we need to keep shops good, but outside your own house, do your own weeds, because we can't just be spreading these chemicals on the ground for just for aesthetic reasons. Do it yourself.
I was under the impression that the company that usually has done them in the past stopped doing it, and they've tried to appoint another contractor, and either that contractor is not doing it or not doing it well enough. And I agree that people should do it outside their own house, but you might want to get one person in the street that would do that, and some would just leave it, and then it would just all overgrow again. I mean, it is quite bad. Yes, Dorothy.
Funnily enough, on my street, which is a long street, everybody does the weeding. They spray and they do it. Every single one. We were just talking about it, a neighbour and myself and the window cleaner, how good it looked. On the other side, and I think I've said this before, we all own our houses, but on the other side, the rented properties. But I was up in Colne yesterday, and some of the businesses, they should be ashamed of themselves. They're right there next to the door. They're this high. What's the matter with them? Like, dare I mention a name? I don't know. Mr. Chips, for instance, that's a food outlet, you know, and all these weeds are growing. And by the way, I've got my white vinegar ready for the back street. And they're the worst. They are the worst, the back streets. They're really, really thick clumps of grass and I've never in 50 odd years seen it as bad as this.
It's because they're not being done at the moment.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that, but this has been going on for 3 or 4 years now, where they've been late, where they should do it twice a year. 1 year it was only done once. I don't know.
But it
what's
is a
going on.
dilemma if we take what Sarah said, that it's toxic, this stuff that they spray with. So we're trying vinegar, aren't we? White vinegar.
Well, the thing, yeah, we know it's toxic, but I think people should be heavily encouraged to do their own, and the businesses in particular. It's a disgrace up in town, an absolute disgrace. And what does it take? 4 or 5 minutes to pull your weeds out. They come out easily. And they just don't do it, and they're getting away with it, and that's not on. It's not on.
Alice?
This is something that I was going to bring up with the new bid manager, actually, because as Dorothy says, individual shops, they are appalling, but not everybody. But it could be so simple, and if every single shop was encouraged to do it, then it would be amazing. We went to Asda to help out with their little weed problem. We got wonderful pizza as well. This is Waterside Action Group. As a thank you, we did it by hand, and we didn't quite have time to do the vinegar treatment, which we will go back and do. But that's what we'll try and do. We have tried at Primmert to do the salt and vinegar treatment, and again, it's trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but then there's obviously problems about using salt. So yeah, so you've got difficulties on both sides.
I think this is an opportunity for us. We've railed on it before. I've heard Dorothy talk about it before. Perhaps this is a thing where Colne Town Council works with the bid and you do a big campaign. You do a, come on, it's 5 minutes, sort it out. Come on, let's do it. And you know, put some facts about the glyphosate. But people don't know. I'll tell you the sad thing that I suspect is they don't really care about themselves. They don't really care about their family members, but they care about their dogs. So if you say, oh, it's harm to dogs, people go, oh my goodness, quick. So I think we should absolutely try.
The main shops, or are we talking about everywhere?
I think the
Thing is that we're up against, though, the way people are now is that's not our job. That's why we pay our council tax. The council should do that. You get that all the time, don't you? And that's what we'll be up against. But I agree, Sarah. I think we should have a damn good try at you know, getting others involved where they should.
I don't think it's just that. I think you find that a lot of parents now both have to work full time just to make ends meet. And I think if you're raising a family as well, you've not got that much spare time to do things like weeding. And I think you'll find a lot of people will probably tell you that.
They don't have time to put some weeds out. I'm not saying anything.
That's what I've got some consensus here. So we can have the shopkeepers for the main street. We can do that and see how that goes. And but I think it'd be different if we can't make people do their own backyards and back streets, can we? Oh, sorry. No. But we'll try first with the shops. Are we going to go around personally, or are we going to send a letter?
I think you can use social media. You can use the Colnbid page
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You could do a feature on those that are attempting to do it with pictures and things, and
Yeah.
Ash does it every single day. He swills his shop down with water, etc. And I think perhaps you could have some videos of some people cheerfully who do it, saying, "Look at this." There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll mark that down as a something to look at. Yeah, but we have to. But somebody will have to put it all on, sort it all out, won't they? And are we asking the town council to do it?
The thing is, we're talking about the appearance of our town, which comes under one or two items, like treasure our town, Colin Boyle, you know.
Chair, what we can do is maybe on the next Treasure Our Town day, which will be whatever the first Wednesday of August is, we can have a bit of a brainstorm as to think what we can do, and maybe instead of just heading to pick lumps of litter and pizzas and things up, we can have a look at doing something in the town centre or somewhere to highlight it, and at least that'll be some progress. Anyway, move progress.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll go weeding, treasure our town in the town centre. The next item is the Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival. You got blues tickets 2025.
Yeah, so we've not really got an update any different from last month. Everything has been booked now, and we are starting to get obviously the ticket things through, the wristbands and things like that. The t-shirts have come through, designs for the posters, etc., etc. So that is all underway. So really, it's just the only thing that changes week by week is the amount of tickets we've sold. So this is the latest update.
Can I ask if it's more or less than last year?
It's still less, but obviously we do sell a lot of tickets in the last 4 weeks.
Next item is item 14, but we're keeping that until later on. Item 15, Lancashire Local Nature Recovery Strategy. Yes.
I was lucky enough to be in a little group with Neil Watson to give pre-consultation input onto this, and it really is the most excellent document. It gives amazing statistics about our county, nature recovery, and it specifies and gives special actions for the East. So I've done this before. It sort of falls under the remit of the neighbourhood plan. If you like, I'll draft a response from a sort of co-neighbourhood plan perspective and share it with everyone so that we are seen to properly reply as Combe Town Council.
Yeah.
I will just say that obviously the document that I have sent you is just a summary of it. The full version is available on the website.
Okay.
But it's over like 150 pages.
Are we agreeing that Sarah does that?
Yeah, I agree that. I think as well that they were asking that we
Promote
publicise and promote it at the same time. So, you know,
yes,
perhaps hand in hand with that, we can get copies of it downstairs and promote it on the website, our website.
Yeah. So we need to decide if that's what we're going to do. So I need a proposer for that. Howard, seconded by Patricia. All those in favour? Thank you. The next item is item 16, pre-application consultation, new community sports facility. Who is speaking to that?
Um, go on, Sarah.
Is this the skate park? No,
No,
no.
it's a 3G.
Oh, a
sports pitch.
3G. Oh, it's the 3G at Park.
Yeah.
It's a 3G pitch, and I
Yeah.
thought the latest thing was there's no such thing as a 4G pitch now. I don't know. 5G.
But obviously they have contacted us to
What do they
see
want
if
us to
we
do?
will support their application when they put it in.
What
Yeah,
was the support?
we're
though?
quite happy to say, yeah, we would support it, but if they're coming asking for, well, we don't have pound notes anymore, do we? If they're coming asking for £5 notes, they're going to be disappointed because we haven't got the money to give. But we can put our, we think it's a good idea behind it, but monetarily, I don't think we can.
Anyone else need to comment? Sarah?
So this is the Apex Trust, and I think it would be brilliant at our end of town because the closest one is Fishermore, and you've all heard that there are problems at Fishermore because they don't have gates. So the headmaster is saving up for £50,000 for gates to secure that site. And currently, SEAG's most popular thing, well, used to be, was Friday night football at Fishermore, and we've had to suspend it because of the lack of gates, because basically there was a pitch invasion of older boys who weren't SEAG members. This would be a secure facility. They've contacted us to say, yes, we'd be happy to share it with the community. So it wouldn't just be SEAG. The only thing that I am concerned about that I think that we could possibly suggest is we've got so many curlews on the rough. They're just going back to Africa now. But I wonder whether we ought to ask that they contact Lancashire Wildlife Trust for advice with lighting only for the summer months, really from sort of March through to around now. No, of course you can play football now, you don't need floodlights, but just in that perhaps April, which is a very critical time for ground nesting birds, I think we should ask that they seek advice, because I think that's the thing that we need to be concerned about, and obviously to make sure that any lighting is, and I'm sure it will be, totally angled away from the houses on either side. I'm sure it will be, because they want to angle it onto the pitches. We don't want it spilling, in other words.
And do you think they're going to get?
Oh, it's £1 million. They've got it from the Sports Council.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So are we okay to support that? Can I have a proposal if that's the case? Thank you, Anthony. Seconder? Alice? All those in favour? Thank you. Item 17 is planning. It's a new, I think you've all got the new list. So application number 25/0384/FUL, a workshop at 2 Keithley Road, Colne. Anybody, I think it's the first of the terrace.
Was
Is it that what the joiners were?
it's what the joiner? Yeah, I've forgotten the name of the joiner
Yeah.
that had it. CrossFit thing.
It was originally like a small block of flats, wasn't it? That was proposed.
I think you probably need to stop sharing, go to the document and then share there.
Do we know what the industrial growth residential accommodation at almost quite near?
Mm. Yes, Sarah.
So those of you who come to Cone, Cone Area Committee will know that this is very shortly to be within the conservation area. So you look at that, you think about the buildings that it's next to. So it's next to a non-designated heritage asset, which is the Dutch gables of the Tower building. Then you've got zebras, and then you've got this. And nothing about architecture anywhere in Cone shows those roof slopes. Either the roof slopes are flat to the ground and that way, or they are more steep, but they are never like that. That is an anathema, really. It's a main gateway into Cone. It's the shape of the building, not what it's made of. And it's unhappy juxtaposition to the two much older buildings that it's next to. It's about to be a conservation area.
So what we're saying that it's not in keeping with the rest
Yeah,
of
not in
the,
keeping. Advise reject, not in keeping.
we can't say at the moment that about what it's going to be, because that'll come out later. But we can say that, can't we? And that we wouldn't like it to be anything about noise and smells and etc. with it being near the Peter Birtwistle Trust bungalows.
It's a use class E that constant.
Mm.
Could be a spraying process. What are they spraying?
Dorothy?
Are we able to, when Sarah mentions about it's about to be a conservation area, are we allowed to use that statement? Hang on. Because it isn't a conservation area yet, but we know that that's going to happen. So can we say that? Can we bring that in at this stage?
I think, Dorothy, that it has slight planning weight. So at the afternoon session of the local plan, it was mentioned to the inspector, and the inspector said, I know about it. It's conservation area number 27 in Pendle. So it's been out for consultation. The consultation has come back. So rather like the neighbourhood plan, when something's been out for consultation and is just waiting ratification at the exec, or, you know, the final tweaks, I think it has some planning weight, not the full force. So I think we should be mentioning that this is a major gateway site. Yeah. As well as the...
Yeah, and we're concerned about, you know, what it's going to be, what noise, smells, what have you, being near older people's bungalows, etc. Being near Peter Birtwistle older people's bungalows. The next one is...
And the recent plans that were passed for the tower building for residential, so it could affect them as well.
Yes, it could. Yeah. The next one is it's only for information only. It's an appeal. It's for the well, we know where 18 Keighley Road is, but we don't need to speak about that. The next one is 25/0338/FUL, Mr. P. Cullingham, Prospect Farm Caravan Site, Lenchers Road, Cone, siting of an additional 5 static park homes. Yes, Anthony.
I'm sure he's come in several times asking for these extensions, these static caravans. I think it's what's this now? The fourth, fifth time. I think it is. I think we should follow the same actions we've done previously and refuse them.
Anybody, anything else to say, Dorothy?
Councillor Bell and myself went up to Prospect Farm last night to see a couple of the residents at their request. That's the first time I've been up there for quite some time now. It's absolutely stunning, and where we actually visited, well, it was like a little corner of paradise. It was just beautiful. So we got a lot of information from the people. I'm not sure how much I can say on camera, but I don't want to say too much. I've also had comments and photographs from a resident at Lenshire Fold, who can view what's going on with the landscapers that I think are doing the work, where they're going. In fact, somebody sent me a video this morning of this wagon going up Notts Lane to go up there and tip into the dip to fill it all in, you know. The guy had already made a comment to somebody that he'd snuck 2 caravans on already, but it's okay because nobody will know. And that gives you the measure, really, of who we're dealing with. Julian Barraclough, with the information I sent to Neil, he passed on to Julian, who's the planning enforcement officer. He went to visit last week or the week before, and so did the lady that was sat here at the last cone area. She's been up there. So there is some movement there. They are looking into it. I was going to see Julian today. Of course, Neil didn't have time today. I was going to see Julian, but I had to get back home. So I didn't see him, but I will send him an email because he hasn't come back to me as to what his visit, entailed, what he found out. But, we've said this for a long time. We have to keep a close eye on and tabs on that area. It was interesting to us to find that, like the couple that we saw, they had bought their caravan, and the land at the side of it was just out of this world. Beautiful patio areas, just waiting for a sun house to be delivered, a massive gazebo and barbecue and all this. It was just so beautiful. And then there was a fence, and then it went up like that, where they spent thousands in plants and shrubs and, over the last 2 years. Now, they all buy the caravans outright, but all the land round all them caravans and those homes, they pay rent on that to the owner. And quite a monthly, nearly £400 for some of them, and that's quite a substantial amount. So on this plot, that he wants to put another unit, which will be not very far from theirs, and that will take all their garden. Nobody has an agreement, a signed agreement for this rental of the land round. No, so there's a lot of stuff going on up there that just is not right, and we'll carry on with it. And I know, well, I've found out that Ash goes to the residents' meetings. He should share things like that with all of us, really. We all need to know. It's, so Andy and I have now got an invite to the next one, so we can work together on this, hopefully. Yeah, so that's all. There's a lot more, but I don't want to say it on
No, no,
camera.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brian?
I've been up and had a look at this site. To me, it seems like there's enough caravans on there already. And another 5. It must be on there somewhere where 5 are going, but I think there's enough.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're not in favour, are we? I think there's enough.
It's those that are they look to have a roof on them rather than just a flat brown bit on that plan. So it's 3 at the left hand side and 2 at the right hand side at the bottom.
Yeah. And we'll keep an eye on that, but we're not in. We think there's enough on there, don't we? Yeah.
I think the response back is that it's reached its limit. You know,
Mm.
it's too over.
Overdevelopment. The next one is for information only. It's yes.
Also, what about the distance between them? Because on a caravan site, we used to have static caravan. There was a very strict rule that there was so much space between each one. Is that being adhered to? You know, somebody sneaking onto a caravan, are we adhering to all the rules?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Sarah.
They do have, of course, outstanding enforcements against them for landscaping, don't they? More than one, I think.
Mm. Well, so we'll leave item 4 there. It's just information only. So item 5, it's 25/0426/HHO. It's land to the north of 249 Keighley Road, Colne, and it's formation of 3 parking bays to rear garden area. I'm just trying to think where that is.
It's not the first block opposite Effa Lane. It's the second block on the left of those terraces.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the lot. You know, the lot with the path in the front. I think there was a plan not that long ago for the next. If Steve can just scroll down a bit. No, it's. What is that? Oh, no, that looks like a bush. I think if you come down. What it says? Is that the bottom? Can't read the sizes for me. It's fine anyway. I mean, it's.
Yeah, there's a problem on that. There's nowhere to park on that. Are you all right with that? No comment? Yeah. And I think the last 2 are just information only again. So if we can move on to item 18, correspondence received. There's an FOI request about the A56 road between Earby and Colne being subjected to traffic delays due to road work. And it's nothing to do with us, really, is it?
No, this is
someone that has asked someone else for a freedom of information request and isn't entirely happy with what they've come back with. And he's basically asking if we think it's satisfactory or not, and whether we can do anything about it, I think, but
Well, we can't. can we?
not
No.
really.
I'll send them a right. Item 19 is Cone in Bloom. It says to discuss the extent of the town council's involvement with the town centre floral displays. Were you saying you want a paper?
Well, I asked for this to put on. I think because of a couple of things that have happened recently that I had to come into the town hall and ask about. Why has that happened? Why has this happened? I'm wondering if we can have a report every month on what is actually going on with Corn in Bloom. Now, Alice very kindly yesterday sent me a very comprehensive report of what they do, and I know that they're doing a lot of hard work, but I think it should be brought here as well, so that we all know, and we might want to get involved. It might encourage some of them, not me. But
Has anyone any other? Yes, Alice.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'd be happy to put together a little report of what the volunteers are doing each month. So that's no problem. And obviously, if the Lensman can be included in what they're doing each month, and yeah,
that'd be good.
together.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Is that
Yeah.
all right, Dorothy?
Yeah, thank
Do
you.
we need it each month or every other month?
Well, I don't know. I was going to say, from the Lensman's point of view, this time of year, all they're doing is watering.
Yeah.
So it would be the same every month. They're watering.
Well, there are a lot of things that are the same every month, but you know, I just think that we should know what's happening. You know, who do we get the flowers from? You know, who chooses them? You know, little things like that that we all need to know. Well,
It's a tendering process too, isn't it?
sorry.
It's a tendering process.
Yes, I know what it is. Yeah. All right. Are we agreeing on that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So are we saying every month or just when there's something?
I'm happy to just put a little report in. It won't be big, and then it can just go with the papers, just like you have for Treasure Our Town or something like that.
Yeah, can we settle on every?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Sorry.
The winter plants also go in, obviously, as well. So it's not just a summer item.
Thank you for your messages. Very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Item 20 is items for a future month's agenda. Have you got anybody got any ideas? Yes, Sarah.
I'm going to say what I always say, which is Pendle Council, time is running out.
Yes.
We need to have that planning meeting. We do.
We need to have what?
A planning meeting to talk about what things in Cone we should take control of. Because we can't just decide a week before Pendle Council is at an end. We've got to do it now. We've got to decide. Interestingly, David and I met the new relatively new chief exec of Pendle Leisure Trust. And he's so enthusiastic and positive about the Mooney. It stopped me feeling worried about the Mooney. I'm still worried about the car parks. I really think we need this meeting, probably separate to our monthly meeting. So we can probably really thrash this out and put things in train if we're going to.
Chairman, if they're going to expect us to take on some services, they're going to have to give us some money to go with it, or someone is, because we can't keep putting the precept up and up and up to take over things that either Pendle Council should be paying for, or whoever takes over as the new unitary authority should be paying for. And we can't expect town council to keep putting the precept up and costing the residents of Cone double because they're paying twice.
I think it's worth having a round discussion about everything. Yes.
I agree with David, and I think we've got an opportunity as well. If we get in there quickly, we're the first in, aren't we? And also the sudden largesse from your party leader, he keeps finding more money, and he's head of resources. So you're in a great opportunity. If he's feeling generous, go for it.
I think it's important, if we can, to keep the car parks free for the businesses. No, they won't be free from Black.
You're looking at 50 to 50, but you're looking at between 50 and 60 grand a year to run the car parks, and there's no getting away from that, because a considerable amount of that is a levy that goes to Combid, which isn't a lot, and there is all the business rates on it, and it's going to cost 50 or 60 grand to do that, to have them free. So where's the 50 or 60 grand going to come from? So one place it can come from, because Bentley wouldn't give it, because after year 2 they'll probably have gone. So they can't carry on giving it. And we can't just put 50 or 60 grand on preset and then the council taxpayers pay just so that we can have free car parking. I think we need to keep free car parking, but there's got to be a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
But David, this is why I suggest having the meeting, so that we can discuss it.
Thrash it all out, and people have ideas, and yeah.
One more thing we need to think about is Sarah's mentioned, because of who's in charge at the moment at Pendle, in inverted commas, we may get a better deal. We may not. There's another thing that's at the back of my mind. Would we get a better deal dealing with Pendle Council, who have always not been a friend of Colne Town Council, and there's no doubt about that, because we've been ripped off with them on numerous occasions since Colne Town Council started, and those of us that have been on Colne Town Council since it started know exactly what I'm talking about, and how many times we have been ripped off. The thing that's at the back of my mind is, would we get a better deal dealing with Pendle Council to take over services, or would we get a better deal with the new unitary authority when they come online, whoever they are? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
No. It's a shame your great aunt isn't here. She would foresee all this.
She would. Just to say, this isn't in the private item. We were talking about things that were unseen and things that nobody could know. And at the local plan, I mentioned my great aunt, who left her husband because he wouldn't pay her furrier's bills in Ilkley, and she didn't have any way of supporting herself. So she had apparently a barnstorming end of pier show at Blackpool North Pier, where she was a mind reader. And she could read people's minds, and there were people queuing, and it was amazing. But in the end, he told her that he loved her, and she went back to him.
Right. Right. If we want to carry on that conversation, maybe in a private, not that conversation, the one before. The date and time of next meeting is the 19th of August at 7 o'clock. And we will go into our private item. Please.